India is observing the 21st anniversary of Kargil as Vijay Divas, and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is at the Amar Jawan Jyoti in the national capital, saluting brave martyrs who sacrificed their lives to uphold and safeguard India. This day commemorates the success of Operation Vijay that was launched by the Indian Army to recapture Indian territories captured by Pakistani intruders in the Kargil Dras sector in 1999. Vishnu Shom is with us on the phone line. Vishnu, as we see this solemn tribute being paid, 21 years since Kargil.
That's right, 21 years since Kargil, and this is a Kargil Vijay Divas on an occasion in which India faces an unprecedented threat at another quarter in Ladakh, and as we honor these men and who were killed in action, lost their lives during Kargil in 1999 in a war which took place at a high-altitude part of North Kashmir. Let's not for a moment forget about the constant threats that as a nation we face across our frontiers, whether it is to the in the Himalayas to the east, parts of the middle sector, certainly all across Kashmir with the line of actual control, and the line of control. So the threat faced by the Indian Army in China presently and the Ladakh frontier, and Pakistan, which is a constant threat. But 1999 was a glorious chapter for the Indian Army, where we were able to evict Pakistani intruders from the heights in that entire front, Kargil, Batalik, the Mashko Valley, several other areas, in what was an unprecedented sort of act of high-altitude warfare in anywhere in the world. Nowhere had a war ever been fought at such altitude. It was a war that captured the imagination of the nation. It was a war in which 20-something Indian soldiers charged up these peaks which in a part of India not very many had heard about. Tiger Hill was a name that not many would have known, but now is synonymous with that victory in Kargil. There was an entire new generation of young heroes, so many Param Veer Chakra winners, the name Vikram Batra or Anuj Nair. These are names which have inspired so many people, and this was almost World War II level type fighting. It was hand-to-hand fighting in incredibly difficult terrain, which required unmatched bravery, which is what the Indian Jawan is known for. And then there was the role of the Indian Air Force as well. The first successful laser-guided bomb hits on Tiger Hill, which were conducted, were also during the Kargil war. We saw the Indian Air Force take hits as well during that war. But ultimately, the intruders were evicted from Indian territory, and Kargil is very much in India, and it's almost a frightening reminder that these narrow or shallow incursions across the line of control, in the case of Kargil, have been replicated by incursions and far more substantial incursions along the line of actual control on the Ladakh frontier, which is where the Indian Army is now entirely engaged in unprecedented numbers to ensure that there is no further breach of Indian territory. So this would be a very solemn Kargil Vijay Divas. The Vijay Divas of the Kargil Vijay Divas, a very different context, in a very different period of time. But yes, that threat, and I think this is where I'll sort of end what I have to say, that this threat that we face on our frontiers at extreme high altitudes, it remains, and it's constant, and it's one that we face right now as you and I speak.